Hi, this is a tutorial on how to do matte mining specifically with low temperature diamonds. Um, the reason why low temperature diamonds are such a good payout versus doing void opal mining or painite mining is because it breaches the gap between painite, which is a low payout, and void opal, which is a high payout but inconsistent, where painite is very consistent. So it's the middle ground, and if done right, it can outpace every other highest paying system in the game. So low temperature diamonds, as of my knowledge, is pays out as high as 1.2 million credits per ton. So if you can collect enough quickly, you can outpace painite, which about the top payouts is approximately 400 million credits per hour. Low temperature diamonds, depending on how you do it and how quickly you do it, can pay out up to 500 million credits per hour. So let's get into some of the uh, basics of mapped mining. So the idea is that when you do regular mining, you just go out there with your ship, your mining ship, and you mine the asteroids, and you prospect and find which asteroids have good percentages, and then you go and mine the chunks off of the asteroid and collect in your cargo hold. And that takes a lot of time, and then you don't always find the high payout asteroids that you would like to find. Well, there's a little, it's getting more and more well known now, but it wasn't very well known that the asteroids are actually persistent. So what that means is if you go to a rock, any asteroid in any system, any ring, and if you can go to that same exact rock, it will have the same exact percentages of whatever materials that it holds. And then if you mine that rock, those percentages will return after a 2-hour cooldown. So every 2 hours, if the particular rock has, let's say, 40% painite, pure painite, and then 2 hours later you were to return, it would have another set of 40% painite for you to mine. So what it's been done is lately there's been a mapped mining craze, and a lot of posts being put up. And what you do is you do a fixed starting point and you go to your first asteroid. Actually, you don't even go to the first asteroid. You take a screenshot of the first asteroid. And in order to create the map, you have to prospect until you find a high percentage asteroid. And then you take a screenshot of that asteroid. And I'm going to show you that right now in a map that I created. And this map was created in a triple overlapping low temperature diamond hotspot. And it's also in a pristine ring as well. So this is about as good as you could possibly get it. And I'll show you where the system is later in this video when we actually get to go to take off. All right, so what we're using as our starting point is the low temperature diamonds hotspot, which is 1 kilometer away. And then watching the video, you'll see exactly where that is. This particular map is on the innermost hotspot of the 3 hotspots that are in the ring. There's going to be a res location and then 3 low temp diamond hotspots. It's the one that's closest to the res I wouldn't call it a hotspot, but the res signal source. So what we do is we fly into that point, that hotspot, and we use the marker. And you can just barely make out the planet here in the background. We use the planet as an alignment, and we look at the asteroids, and then we make sure we're flipped correctly this way or that way on the very first screenshot. Because if all these asteroids are upside down and on this side, your referencing is going to be completely thrown off and going to be the wrong way. So you want to make sure and match this. One thing you can do if you don't want to follow this map, which will be available in the description below, is you can just follow the video, pause and play the video as needed to go to the next asteroid, if that's easier for you. If you're a little bit more advanced or you just want to speed things up, you can do it by using this PDF that I created full of 65 asteroids that all have high percentage payouts. So from this point, once we get centered up, we lock onto the planet, and with our targeting in our left panel, and you'll see that here, this is the same asteroid that was right here, and we can see from this prospector limpet that I have attached to this asteroid that this is a 36 point, I believe that's 98%, so almost a 37% low temp diamond asteroid. And so all you got to do is fly over this and mine. So if you went and did this every time, and this is where the map mining comes, you would mine this, it would say depleted. 2 hours later, that will be fully restored and you can mine it again. So that's why creating a screenshot series, it makes this all work. So whoever did the work, which would be me in this case, to find all these asteroids, because it took hours upon hours upon hours to find all these high percentage asteroids linking together in a certain pattern. You don't have to find it. All you got to do is follow the map, mine to your heart's content, and then turn the money in. It makes the process 1,000 times easier for even an expert player. So one thing to note is when you first get to the asteroid and you mine it, so we're going to go to the next screenshot, you'll notice that things are different now. You're going to have, for every screenshot in my series, you're going to have 3 points of reference, okay? You're going to have the asteroid that you just mined, and you want to line up below the asteroid with it at the center of the top of your screen, and also have the planetary marker in the center. The reason why it's offset is because as you rotate the ship to the side like this, as you yaw over to look at where the next asteroid is, things are going to go off center. But this will give you a frame point where you always want to have this in the middle and the planetary marker there, and then start yawing over, and then this is what you should see. You can actually use your hardpoint blue line indicators to match up with the asteroids to help you basically get the same exact position as the original screenshot was taken. So the 3 points of reference is going to be the asteroid you just mined, the planetary marker, and the asteroid that is the next one you go to. Do not pay attention to these gray marked out areas, this crosshairs or anything. The only things you want to pay attention to are the 3 reference points, the third having chevrons, and every now and then the game will bug out to where when I was taking the screenshots, these will disappear. But what I did to continue on and help that, you'll see I'll do what's called snapshot. I'll do a snapshot screenshot, and you'll see the blue haze that activates right when the prospector limpet hits the asteroid, and you'll be able to get that reference. So I'll go through, like, so you get underneath this asteroid, so you find this one, fly over to it. Now you're underneath this asteroid, and you see this one over here slightly to the right. You got 3 points of reference, 36.19. Same thing here. You just keep on going to asteroid, and you'll see these percentages: 3596, 3504, 3127, 3366, 3243. I will go through all the stats in order and do the average. The minimum stat that I decided to make this map on is 30% or higher. And you can go through and you can see all the different, I think here's that example of what I was talking about before, where I didn't have the little chevron markers, but I did do the blue haze to mark the asteroid so you know which one to pick. So you can see every asteroid that goes on. And it's really important that you make sure that you find the asteroid and make sure it's the right one before you go. Because if you go to, let's say, this asteroid over here, and you went to the wrong asteroid, you're going to be stuck. Because once you've gone off the path of the map, it's hard to get back on the path because you would have to return to this point of origin to be able to follow the map. So I've done it many times, so if you do it too, don't feel bad. I've done it in the middle of mapping. I've done it while testing the mapping. It's not easy to follow the map, but just double check, make sure there. What I'm doing is a speed run. You don't have to do a speed run, but this does allow for up to 500 million credits per hour if you do it super fast, which is actually possible. So that pretty much explains how map mining works, and you get all the way to the end. By the time you get to the end, you should be around 61, 62, 63 on a 512 cargo with 10 tons for the 10 tons for the refinery. That will be you should be able to fill up right before you hit the 65th asteroid. There's 66 pages in this, but that's only because the very first page is the starting point, which doesn't count. So that's basically the coverage of the mapped mining. So the minimum loadout that you're going to need is you need at least a mining laser, a cargo hold, a refinery, and a detailed surface scanner. Now, some people are going to say, no, you need more. Well, you don't really need more because you can mine with the laser. You'll get several chunks out of the asteroid. You can scoop them up with your cargo scoop, and the refinery processes the materials. You also need a detailed surface scanner because in order to see the hot spots, you're going to have to at least shoot one probe into the ring in order for the hot spots to show up. And then from that point forward, you're going to continue to need the detailed surface scanner just to see the hot spots, even though you've already scanned it. Now, if you really, really want to get the most out of this situation, you're going to need a prospector limpet controller, which you're going to shoot at the asteroids, and you're going to want to A-rate it. The size doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a 1, 3, 5, 10, 100, whatever. As long as it's A-rated, you'll get a 3.5 bonus to the chunks that you mine out of the asteroid. So at least get a 1A minimum if you want an optimal payout for each asteroid on the chunks. The second thing that makes life a lot easier is the collector limpet controller. You are going to want, I would recommend, at least two, a controller that can control at least two simultaneous collectors per mining laser or more. So if you're running 2 mining lasers, you're going to want to have at least 4 collectors. If you're running 3 mining lasers, at least 6. That's the minimum. You could go more than that, and it would make up the process a little bit faster, but that's only if your ship optionals have the room for it. The last optional is shields, and this covers something that confuses a lot of players, and you'll see me doing this, is you don't necessarily need shields when doing this type of mining, but if you want to do it fast, you're going to need shields because you're going to do something called litho breaking. And again, I didn't come up with the term. I'm just using it. That's what it's called. And basically what it is, you use your shields to basically stop your ship. You're going to fly at a high speed towards the asteroid. Some players actually boost to save even more time. and you just slam into the asteroids and using the shields to basically do all your braking. That saves time, and then when you multiply that by 60 some asteroids, you're saving a lot of time going from asteroid to asteroid. You're also, when you nail the asteroid, your nose is right on the asteroid, you're ready to mine. So you don't have to do a lot of setup, you don't have to do a lot of slow approaching. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do this with shields, but you'll be definitely damaging your hull. Plus, you're going to want a really good, if you're going to do the shield method of litho braking, you're going to want some pretty good shields that can regenerate pretty fast. So I recommend bi-weave shields. And if you can engineer them, then go ahead and do that. So in the description below, I'll be offering different ship builds for this type of mining at different levels. So if you can only afford, let's say, a Cobra or a Python, or you don't have access to the cutter, but you can get an Anaconda, then all those ship builds will be in the description below, and they will be all unengineered. And the only thing engineered does for you is it'll give you stronger shields that can regenerate faster. It'll give you better thruster and maneuvering control, longer jump range to make your life easier when trying to actually go and sell the low temperature diamonds. All those things, like, it's just quality of life and help speed the entire process up. So after this, we're also going to check out to see how much arcs we get from doing one run of low temp diamonds. And I'm going to try to do 522 tons max capacity, and then we are going to find a place to sell it at. So that brings me to my next point: is the place that you sell it at is going to be important, because obviously you want to get the most money for what you have. So there's two sources that I go to, is a miner's tool and Inara, and I'm going to show you exactly how to look this stuff up. So we'll start with the miner's tool, and both of these websites will be in the description below. So the reference system is Baran with 2 N's, and we want to search for low temperature diamonds. So it'll tell you like what the hot spots are, and then this is the particular one that we're going to be going to, which is A2 Ring B low temp diamonds. This stands for 3 overlapping hot spots, and then this is telling you what the closest system selling, and this is actually really good, almost 1.2 million, and it's only 26 light years away. So we're going to keep our eye on this. And then I don't know what the light second range is on. Some of the light second ranges on these terminals. And then the other important thing, because I have a large ship, some of these places do not have a large landing pad like this particular site right here. So always keep an eye on that so you don't waste time flying to it. As a secondary reference, just in case this stuff doesn't come out right, I go to Inara, I click on marketing, take a second, I click on goods, and I hit Control F for find, and that's what it is in Chrome and most other things. And I just type in DIAM for diamonds, and then it'll bring up low temp diamonds. Really quick way to find. So you go ahead and click on that, and then the system that we want to be in, we type over here Baran with 2 N's. Click on search, and it'll come up empty at first because you can't buy low temperature diamonds anywhere. But what you want to click on is best sell, and then that'll list all the places that are selling it, or that you can sell to. Right now it's rated by price, and 1.198, and the distance is 105 light years. So right now we got 2 places. And then there's that more terminal again, which was also here. So you got more terminal, And the other thing, the distance is 26. So here's an interesting thing. The difference between these two, although this is 26 light years away, it's 22,000 light seconds just to get to once you're inside the system. So that's something to consider sometimes, because some of the light second distances, like this is 117,000, you want to pay attention to that because it's going to be a long flight to the system. So it might be worth it in time to maybe go an extra, 75 light years, depending on what your build is. But in this particular case, this is a medium pad, so I can't even think about going to that place. So right now it looks like this is our best option. So we want to definitely put that off to the side and then recheck these when we're ready to sell. So that should be it. So let's go ahead and find Baran live in the game here. So we're going to go over one tab, and we're just going to type in BORANN. Go ahead and click the next button. This is really close. It's only 73 light years from Jameson Memorial, which is, once you get elite, you'll get a permit to go to that system. Just about everybody I know goes there because it sells every ship and every module in the entire game. You don't have to go anywhere to find stuff. So we're going to go in the system, and up here, this nice little lovely planet right here, A2, we're going to go ahead and plot our route to that, and the outer ring is what we're looking for once we get there. So I'm doing a speed run. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull off 500 million credits per hour, but we're going to see how well we do. I should be able to do at least a minimum of 400 million credits per hour, which is actually right now is more reliable than the Paynite, because the Paynite payouts have been fluctuating and dropping.